All right, it's Patch Tuesday for November, and Microsoft just dropped its latest batch of security updates. We're going to cut through all the noise here because there's really only one flaw you absolutely have to know about right now.
So, Microsoft dropped patches for 63 new vulnerabilities. 63. But honestly, the entire story this month really just boils down to this one number. 1. That's because there's one actively exploited 0-day, and it changes everything for your patching priorities.
And that one flaw is CVE 2025-62215. This thing is a vulnerability in the Windows kernel, and the scary part is attackers are using it in the wild as we speak. This needs to be at the absolute top of your to-do list.
So what exactly is it? It's called an elevation of privilege vulnerability, which, is a pretty fancy way of saying it lets a bad actor, someone who's already got a tiny foothold on a machine, basically promote themselves. They can go from being just a regular user to having the keys to the kingdom, the all-powerful system account. And what's really concerning here isn't just the what, it's the how. Attackers are already using this flaw out in the real world. This isn't some theoretical threat cooked up in a lab. This is happening right now in targeted attacks. And it plays out like a classic three-step attack. You know the drill. First, they find a way in, maybe a phishing email, maybe some other malware. That gets them a foot in the door. Then, they unleash this specific vulnerability to kick that door wide open, elevating their privileges so they have complete, total control of the system. And this quote just nails it, right? It's like a hacker finding a regular employee's ID card and somehow turning it into the CEO's all-access master key. Once they exploit this, there are no more locked doors on that system. They can disable security, plant backdoors, and start moving across your entire network. And listen, this isn't some obscure problem that only affects older systems. No way. This vulnerability hits pretty much all the modern versions of Windows your organization is almost certainly using. We're talking Windows 10, Windows 11, and the modern Windows servers. Okay, so while that 0-day is absolutely priority number one, it's not the only serious threat that landed this month. Let's talk about what else is lurking in this update that you need to be aware of. So beyond that 0-day, Microsoft has flagged 4, count 'em, 4 other vulnerabilities as critical. And, that's their highest severity rating. That means each one of these on its own poses a huge and immediate risk to your systems if you don't patch it. So here's the breakdown, but I really want you to zoom in on 2 of these. First, that remote code execution flaw in Microsoft Office. I mean, this is the classic entry point, right? An attacker gets in just by tricking someone into opening a malicious document. And second, take a look at the recurring problems in the print spooler and the common log file system. These components are getting hammered again and again by attackers. All right, so this is where it gets really interesting. It's crucial to look beyond just this 1 month's patches and see the bigger picture, the trend that's emerging. When we start connecting the dots, a few things become really clear. So first up, a little bit of good news. This month's 63 flaws, well, that's a huge drop from October's massive Patchapalooza of 172. So hopefully that gives your security teams a little bit of breathing room after what's been a really busy couple of months. But look at this timeline of the last few months. It shows this wild swing in patch volume. It's like feast or famine. This kind of volatility makes it incredibly hard for security teams to plan resources. They're bouncing between these calm months and then, bam, an absolute patch tsunami. But here is the most alarming trend of all. This month's 0-day, it's the 11th elevation of privilege vulnerability patched in the Windows kernel just this year. 11! This isn't random. This shows that attackers are relentlessly and successfully targeting the very heart of the operating system. Okay, so now for the most important part of this whole thing. Turning all this information into a clear, decisive action plan for your team. So, knowing everything we've just talked about, what do you need to do right now to protect your systems in your organization? All right, here's your playbook, simple and straightforward. Priority number 1, no question, is patching that 0-day CVE 2025-62215. Get it done. Right after that, you tackle the other 4 critical vulnerabilities we talked about. And hey, if you're still running Windows 10, enrolling in the Extended Security Updates program is pretty much non-negotiable at this point if you want these fixes. And of course, as always, test these patches before you roll them out everywhere. Look, at the end of the day, it's so important to remember why this all matters.
A disciplined, prioritized patching strategy, it's still the single most effective defense your organization has. It works against those super sophisticated targeted attacks and against the widespread opportunistic ones.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty big thought. As attackers focus more and more on the Windows kernel, the very core of the OS, we have to ask ourselves a tough question. Is just patching month to month really enough anymore? Or is it time to start reevaluating the deeper security defenses that are supposed to be protecting the very heart of your systems?